The double chin. So looking for some advice here. I know for sure the majority of advice will be to move on, but please, before recommending so, consider the scenario, as this is what I am most confused about. I will try to keep it short. 12 years together, 6 married, 5-year-old son. So, a month ago I found out my wife cheated on me multiple times with different men, 4 in total. This will surely sound big, and it does, but I am going to give some perspective. After I found out, we separated. Basically, she moved out with our kid. The way I found out was that I checked her phone, and while I did find out that she did, I wasn't sure how many times and with how many men. I went no contact with her immediately and only talk about the kid. So over the last year or so, our relationship deteriorated deeply, to the point that I neglected sex to her for the last 6 months or so. This was previous to the end of January. Upon not feeling very well with the situation and at the risk of losing my family, I started to treat her better, meaning I would go on date, have more bonding, etc. She was accepting that and was feeling comfortable again with me. We had very good times over the next 2 months or so, until April. Anyway, I noticed a change in her behavior from last year, and it was that she kept using her phone more often, something that she had never done in our years together, and this caught my attention. So this got me curious, and one night in April I went to check it and found out. At the time I did not confront her with all the details. I just asked her and she admitted, and I asked her to move out and she did. The next day when she moved out, she told me that she wanted to speak with me about the situation, and she came home and told me that she was sorry, crying, etc. But I told her we need to keep distance, and she left again. She left a lot of her and the kids' clothing at home, mainly due to accommodation, and I let her do it until she can find a place. Now, over the next couples of weeks of April I kept communication only regarding the kid. She respected that. She never tried to reach me or anything. She respected my boundaries. She is staying at her mother's. Fast forward to April's last Friday, I offered her to keep the kid while she can find a place, so that he is not uncomfortable sleeping elsewhere. I even suggested her that I can keep him and that I will have no issues for her to pick him up whenever she please. This was early in the morning and I did not get a response from her until late evening, when she answered that if I agree, she can come home to discuss this. I told her no, that we should talk in another public place, but she insisted to come so that she can pick up some clothing for her and the kid. I had to agree. She came home that day late evening, and we discussed the arrangement. Meanwhile, she started packing some of her clothes. She tried to somehow include the separation subject into the manner, etc., but I kept holding her off. But I couldn't hold it anymore and had to ask her. I asked her why. I told her the nightmare I have been living in since I found out. We both crumbled. We cried together, etc. She told me she does not want to leave. She was remorseful, that she wants the opportunity to show me how she has changed and will change, etc. But ultimately I helped her pack her clothing and she left. She texted me that she will wait for me no matter the time, etc. I went back to no contact, but after this day, she started to somehow be more inclined to talk to me. She respected my boundaries still, but was starting to kind of be more communicative and gentle, asking me on some days how I am doing, etc. Obviously, I always had flat-out answers as fine, okay, good. So in one of those days she messages me asking me how I am doing in general and how I am doing with her, etc. I couldn't help but told her that I haven't feel any worse in my life, etc. but that I know I will someday feel better. She then proceeded to tell me that she misses me, misses our family, that she loves. I told her to cut it off and ignored her, but she insisted. I told her that I wanted her to tell me those things she said in text to me face to face, and that to be prepared to have a clean, honest, and serious conversation with me regarding all that happened. So we went ahead and got together in the next day or so, and she expressed everything. I asked every detail of the encounters. From October last year until March this year, she had 4 affairs with different men. The first man she had sex 2 times with him, the second man 3 times. The third man was a one-night stand that she knew at a bar, and the last man she had sex 2 times. I asked every detail, etc. Of course, I have no specific way to corroborate this, so I trust what she said, as I just let her throw it all out. These months were difficult months during our relationship, but I know nothing actually will justify her actions. Now, for the last part, she has shown remorse, and I asked her to come up with a plan on how we can fix all this mess, just to see what she would do or think about it. She told me she never had any intentions to leave me, and I know this, since I have always been the breadwinner and those men knew she was married. She is deeply sorry about breaking the family and how this will affect our kid, but one thing she keeps reminding me is this, and that she wants to do it, get back, but it will not be because of the kid, but because of us, that while she understands his future is important, she will get back to me because of us. I have never had any doubt about her, and I know for sure that regarding the timeline, at least she is somehow telling the truth, as I did notice a change in her behavior starting that specific time. She did not have any affair previously that I could tell or that she told me. But while I do want to keep my family, I am not sure I will be able to forget about that. All I worry about is my kid. We were always a happy family, and he misses that. We never had any arguments or anything. We just neglected our sex life for just too much of a time. She insists that she has changed and that she will change and that she will wait and accept that I won't be able to forgive her in a long time, but she wants the opportunity to show me. She has no issues with getting under any condition I may put as an open phone policy, etc. I truly believe her regarding this, because I know for sure that she never thought she was going to get caught, and now that she did, she knows how much she was putting at risks here. But I don't know if I will be ever to see her again like I used to see her. She has not yet come up with the idea of how we can clean this mess, and I am waiting for her proposal. I know for sure that the woman I loved was not this woman, and for some reason I am believing on what she is telling me. I know I won't be the same person that trusted her deeply, and she knows this, so I believe that she knows what we are going to if we decide to reconcile and give it a try. She won't have it easy. This was the first and ever time she cheated, I can assure you this. The consensus is to move on. I just feel so sorry for my kid, his family unit. I was hoping to at least get to a scenario that while having to put it under the lapse of time, perhaps it could have worked out. About the unprotected time, after all she has done, protected or not, to be honest, I could care less. I mean, the damage is just a lot already. Knowing this or not makes no difference at all. Wish I could be told that this could be a wake-up call for her. We never had any infidelity issues before, I never doubted. She was always open with her phone, only recently, back in October, she started to behave differently. I want to believe people could change, but it seems like everyone agrees that they cannot. There is a back history that I didn't actually wrote about, but in hindsight, before I caught her I kicked her out 2 weeks prior, and then we reunited. I noticed immediately a change in her behavior for the next 2 weeks, like the old she has returned. Apparently during those 2 weeks out she basically came to terms what would it be if we separated. Also, regarding serial cheater, assume she had no history prior to these incidents. Is she in fact a serial cheater? Like I said, we have been together since her late teens and I have never doubted her, not me or any family or friends. The few friends and family that knows about this and that knows her are as shocked as I am. I know and understand this will be just plain hard. I am a loving person and I trust people, always have, so it will be extremely hard to live like this. I will be miserable. I just want to believe that something extraordinary is possible, if I ever decide to try it. There is obviously a long history and details between us that only we know. Regarding of staying for a period of time, it is good advice, but it is filed with so many uncertainty. I was in for it a couple of days ago, but I am not so sure right now, to be honest. If I do it, I will not even do it for me, I will do it for the kid. I know this is wrong as so many others have said, but please, understand. We didn't have an unhealthy environment, so I don't know how that would be the case. Yeah, the fact still remains. Will I regret it if I don't try? I agree regarding the times of the betrayal. I don't care how many went, to be honest. It wasn't as still a deal breaker for me if it is just a single one. Yeah, reaching 40 already I am faced with a lot of uncertainty. I feel sorry about myself too, to be honest. I have always been a successful guy, always reached my goals. I just can't believe I have turned into the shell of the man I have been for the last month or so. It is like I have no confidence on myself on the near future. Like, will I ever be happy? Will I ever find someone? It just sucks all around. Update. So, I have broken my NC a few times over the last few days with her, mainly because I wanted to see what was on her mind. It is obvious I have not lost hope yet. So we sat a few days ago, when she came with some lab test I asked her to get, STD, etc. And also, with her proposal on how to get over the mess. So in a nutshell, she came up with some type of detailed plan on how we can approach things, from her perspective. One of the most intriguing things she told me was the following. She is willing to sign up a contract with me, postnup, on which she will waive my child custody to me in full if she is ever found cheating again, no matter the type. I believe I mentioned once that I proposed her to take him under my wing after I found all this mess, only to be met with hostile arguments from her. I know our child is the most important thing to her, and for me as well, so while she was reading that to me she was crying. I asked her a lot of questions regarding how she believes I could gain trust in her again, that I will never be the same, etc., and she accepted that. She mentioned multiple times that she understands the sacrifice she has to go under, but that she must do it. It is like she feels entitled to a second chance, to somehow demonstrate me of her change. Every time we get to talk about this stuff, I always end up angry, so I try to keep my temper, but I sometimes lost it. So I basically turn around things she says, calling her a liar, etc. Of course this is me trying to get my frustration off me to her, but I am not like that. So we ended the talk on that day there, mainly because I was exhausted from the gym and the kid was around, so she didn't want him to see us talking, discussing. It was only after I insisted that she began the talk. She didn't want to do it in front of the kid from the very beginning, but I was curious and I had her talk. So next day I asked her to come over so we can continue. She also said there was something important she wanted to tell me in person regarding the kid. She brought the kid, put it to bed, and then we began talking again. On this occasion, I told her a few things, so I don't know if I wrote this in previous comments, but the kid is going to another school now and will have a not so good schedule. Since there will be no one home when he comes back from the school, the decision was for me to hire a nanny, so he can stay at my place for some hours and then she will pick him up from my place at around 7-8 p.m. every day and get him to her place to sleep with her. This is during weekdays. Weekends as usual he is going to be with me. Agreed on that. She told me something about some complaint regarding the kid at the school and I got angry. So I immediately told her that I don't see how this is going to work. The only way I see this working is for her to quit her job and dedicate to the kid, to which she agreed, crying again. To be honest, I was actually surprised at this. I only told her this to see her reaction. I also told her that she should not expect me to meet her family in the near future, if ever. To be honest, I threw all this not because I was feeling it, but because I was angry and resentful, and to see her reaction. We ended the talk with my asking, once again, pain shopping, about the details and why she did it, blah blah blah. I only did this just see if her history could have changed, but I didn't. I got the same response. Still, because of the way we talk and I somehow agreed, she had hope. So yesterday I can't drop off the kid because he was sleeping and I asked her to pick him up. So when they were leaving I entered a chat with her regarding, yet again, the same stuff. I know this is wrong but I am just filled with uncertainty. I kept telling her that she must be sure about what she wants. She told me that I keep filling her with uncertainty because one day I seem to agree to something, but I flip it the other day and she is right. I am only doing this because I don't know what to do or what do I want. So, in a nutshell over this talk, we agreed to something preliminary. She was the one who proposed it, that I will take next month and probably July to see what we are going to do. Kid is due to school in August, that if I agree to give it a shot, we will do it through end of the year. If by next year there is no really any hope from my side, that we will call it quit and she will move out. But still, I am just filled with uncertainty regarding all this. Part of me wants to do it for the kid's sake, which I know it is wrong, and she does also. She always says that if we ever gonna try it, it should be for us, but the other part of me doesn't. I know I can't be resentful my whole life and I know that in time I will have to let go, for my own sanity, whether with her or not. I know it doesn't hurt like the first week, and I know that in order to do this I will definitively have to let go. My comment, all you are doing is barking like one of those dogs that bark but don't bite. No matter what kind of resentment you might have, the bottom line is that as previously noted by many here, you already made up your mind. You are staying in the marriage for good or bad, but you are staying. That was a given from the first post you made. So accept that and stop with the passive-aggressive punishing because that's all you have the balls to do. It is extremely counterproductive to continue your passive-aggressive behavior because that will lead to a worse home environment once you cool off and bring her back, which obviously you will. Your kid needs a stable environment. And just because you don't have the arguments in front of him, that doesn't mean that he will not be feeling the tension, disconnect, and the lack of love around him between his parents. So prox with the understanding that you forgave, but won't forget, and try to create a positive environment for your kid. OP responds, I guess the next couple of months and then the next 6 will probably determine the fate of this. I know I won't forget, nobody does. And like I said previously, we didn't ever had any arguments or whatsoever. I am not that type of person. Of course, as you said, this will probably bring some old memories, but I can't live like that. It is either do it or leave it, and if I decide to do it, then I must know deep well that I will have to take care of those feelings. Remember I said I have implemented NC with her, so with that, on every little occasion since then when we had to talk to each other I have basically maintained defensive stand towards her, meaning I show no feelings or weakness. Only once during this whole time I have opened to her about my feelings, via text, so I guess that on her mind, I am doing okay. In fact, she almost got the impression that I was already dating by the way I am taking things. I am working out and got in shape again, so no, I can't say she is concerned at all about my feelings because I am not showing that to her. Her actions, there has been none. I told her that actions speak louder than words only to receive the usual, and how would you see if we are not together? Do I believe her words are sincere? I need to think so, but she has lied before. And while she might not be as comfortable as she was with me over her mom's, deep in her mind she kind of know it is temporary. She will either move to her own place or back with me, so she is not pushing it. And yes, I can say this, when I talk to her she looks very remorseful, but of course she is. She knows what she is losing. She is not that stupid in that regard. I have only opened to her once during text on which she replied with tremendous empathy, but I have remained like that since then. So I don't know really what to do next. As you said, she might be even thinking that I am dating. She does for her action. On Sunday, she even asked me if she can ring my phone and show it to her, like to see if I have changed her name on my phone, as a way to hide if I was with somebody else. I was really surprised by this. Obviously, I will never want to take her mother away from him. Also, the post-nup if not about her relinquish her custody over me, but more about him living with me and having her pick him up whenever she pleases without altering his routine. I agree about going into R with a positive mindset. I mean, I won't go into it for the next 6 months after June if I still don't have a plan or I am willing to put in the effort on my side. I have continued to work on myself. I am reaching new leaves in shape that I had not got in a while and will continue to do so. Also, I had a promotion at work which helped my self-esteem as well. I am also enjoying being by myself. This is not something totally new to me, as I used to be by myself before I was married almost 5 years ago, so muscle memory. I have not dated yet, but I have a couple of girlfriends that I have met that I chat with on a regular basis, which also has helped me boost my self-esteem. So, all in all, I believe I am on a good track, considering it just been 2 months since all this mess. Update. So, as much as I wanted to keep what I thought I had, family, the remorse of feeling the betrayal and lack of respect towards me and my family ultimately kept me from even trying. I know I couldn't have lived with it, even if nobody knew. She wanted us to try it, but she ultimately accepted my decision without hesitation. It is incredible how we have turned out to be strangers in such a short period of time, almost 8 months. We don't even say hi or bye when handing out the kid. And the perhaps 2 or 3 at most texts we have in a week are just regarding the kid's school. I know I am the only one giving thoughts to this still to this day from time to time. I don't cry or get sad anymore, it is just sorrow to see how it turned out to be. We now have separate lives and one common goal, which is raising our child. She has him from Monday to Friday evening, when I pick him up until Sunday evening. I am not paying child support or alimony. The divorce was settled and done on late August. I believe she somehow felt sorry towards me for what she did and did not ask for anything. I take care of the kid's expenditures at his school in full. This is because I wanted him to study in a good school. She moved to a 2-bedroom apartment which she is paying by herself, and I am living in the big house I bought for us around 4 years ago alone. Sometimes it feels like this is how it's going to be for me for the rest of my life. And I still give thoughts to what happened, so still have to get through that. But it just because for whatever reason I tend to think or believe she won. I have given dates a try, and I have had fun. But nothing really fulfills me in a way to get engaged again. It is like I am always putting in balance what I would get out of a relationship versus staying single. And the latter always win. I am okay with occasional dating. It is the same thought I had with my ex. What would be my benefit if I give it a try? What will I be getting? Nothing. Hopefully I don't get the impression I am extremely sad or unhappy, because that is not true. Work and a couple of hobbies have kept me busy. Just wanted to vent and give an overall ideal of how it's been going. Feel extremely well to expose it out in writing. To be honest, I could care less about her relationships. I mean, I gave up on that long time ago after thinking to myself, what worse can it be for her to date men when she was still living with me sharing our own bed? It isn't about her life, it is about mine. Yes, I have taken on things I have always liked to do, and this gets me motivated. I can't say I am very social to be honest, but I actually switched to work from office so at least I can see and interact with my co-workers every day. My comment, I'm glad that overall you're doing okay and are busy living a full life. Connecting with friends and enjoying activities that you enjoy will be the best and fastest remedy to get over your ex-WW. I'm not surprised at your ex-wife's indifference towards you. After giving herself to a string of men, she detached from you. The separation just put the nail in the coffin, as she very likely had been dating or hooking up with different guys throughout that time. Do not feel like she won. She can put on a front that all is good, but she knows darn well that she destroyed the marriage and broke up your son's stable family life. Eventually, the high of letting new men run through her will wear off and she will want a man that will love her for who she is, and then that's when she will have to face that she has to lie in order to get any man of worth, because if she's honest with how her adulterous promiscuity destroyed her marriage, men won't want to commit to her. Being a phony is not a good way to live. You, on the other hand, can face your future honestly. And speaking of your future love life, do not rush to get out there. Focus on your healing so you can eventually meet a good woman and not screw it up by making her pay for what your ex did. We're rooting for your bright future.